Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, I'm going to do a little bit of a quicker one because I don't want to go into a full-on big deep dive on big layoffs and disappointing news and everything else because, well, it's just kind of been a lot of the news in general. And, well, I don't mind talking about it. Sometimes I just want to go and be a little bit sad that a game's getting kind of canceled. So we're going to go talk about this throughout this quick little video because we'll sit back, relax, and enjoy because it's going to be a pretty big PlayStation game and also Xbox game and one of the more favorite game series I've always liked, even when I was, well, a little bit on the younger side. So hope you guys can go and sit here. We can go and, I don't know, spam F's in the comments or something down below because this one's going to make me want to go and cry. Make sure you guys are subscribed, notifications on. We got that Weeble link for a bunch of free money if you sign up for stocks, and we're probably live up on Twitter and Twitch as well down below. And let's just dive into the video itself. So you guys have probably heard a lot about layoffs and issues and just everything. Xbox had a massive layoff. PlayStation Studios, Bungie, even some of the other bigger studios as well have also to do with layoffs. And it's just been a big thing in both the tech and gaming sphere where everything kind of just blew up and was just too big. Like, it really was too big. And when it comes to most games, they cost a lot of money, man. Like, they really do cost a lot of money. Some of the bigger AAA games are like hundreds of millions of dollars at this point, and sometimes games will take a very long time to make. Even Power World, which I do want to say is a fun game fundamentally. I think the game is cool. I think the game is dope. This is nothing against it. I've been playing it a lot myself. I probably have at least like 50 hours in it. And like the game itself is kind of like a cheap looking kind of basic game. Now it's fun. Like everything on it's fun. I enjoy it. But when it comes to the game itself, it only costs like $7 million to make. Now this is not me trying to go and like insult Power World because that's a really big rarity where everything kind of worked. But sadly, for a lot of other various games, sometimes you can't get away with that indie style or kind of like that fun gameplay loop. You have to spend a lot of money to make sure the standards are met. So think like an Uncharted game. You can't spend $7 million on that. You can't spend $7 million on an Assassin's Creed game, a Halo game. You can't do this on other various games like a Bungie prod. You can't do a God of War and only spend $7 million because the standard is so high. And this is where a lot of things make me sad because as it takes a long time to make a game, it also costs a lot of money. But mostly on the time factor, because I just talked about the money factor. Time also takes, well, time to go and make. Like, that was probably a horrible metaphor, horrible wording, but basically it takes time to make things, and that's what do you need? You need time. And right now we're seeing one of my more favorite game series getting canceled. And this makes me sad because number one, all the time that has probably been wasted since the last DSX game, which if you guys have never played, these games are a delight. These games are fun. These games are pog. But they get canceled. Like, it makes me just sad. I don't even want to say the words for it. So right now we're seeing like a really big scale of a lot of games who've been worked on for multiple years from big studios, or at least like the mid-tier, like AA studios, just getting canceled. And right now, Embracer Group is in the news right now for canceling the Deus Ex video game. And Deus Ex, I keep on saying it weird, is just one of my more favorite game series. You guys ever play the old, like the OG games? Those were nuts. This is like a gaming nerd's paradise. And as well with how the mods for these types of games and how the prior games were, and even the graphical style for it was a really cool game concept. Imagine being like almost really on the high level, a like a detective in a sci-fi world. Kind of like almost imagine what Cyberpunk could have been. To an extent, somewhat. Like, it's basically a little bit slightly cooler, a little bit like slightly spy-y, or a little bit slightly like almost Splinter Cell-y-ish type style game, if you guys never heard of it. And it's like a fun game genre. But right now, the news is that with layoffs and also money and like time and everything is once again hurting the gaming sphere. And this just makes me like sad. That's why I'm kind of rambling on this video rather than just like saying, oh, here's the news and talk about it. Because I'm more so trying to talk about it. Where it just makes me sad. Like, a lot of these games we've been seeing people putting lots of time, money, effort into, and either they just have really lackluster receptions when it comes to quality testing and people like seeing their first impressions of really playing the game, and it just doesn't seem good. Like, people are like, I would not buy this, I would not play this, I would not want to keep on going with this one. Or the part two is that sometimes the game cost $100 million to go make for like a somewhat either AA or AAA game, and they already spent $30 million, but they just can't get that last bit money of funding. Because right now it seems like the gaming investing has gone down a lot. Angel investors, third-party investors, and everything else might be, they just don't have the money to invest. Now, some things like PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo are turning revenue and are turning profit, so they can invest in their own game studios that they own. That's fine. That's normal. Like, I would expect Xbox to make Halo. I would expect PlayStation to fund God of War, Last of Us, whatever. But when it's a third-party game, you'd be expecting the owners and the publishers to spend that money. But some of these places aren't turning big revenues. Some of these places aren't turning huge amounts of money, and this is why we get sad, because big PlayStation games can go get canceled, such as Deus Ex. And right now it's on Bloomberg where the Swedish gaming company Embracer Group AB is canceling a video game in the beloved Deus Ex series. And I always like Deus Ex. Like, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it, played it, liked it, want to check it out. Maybe look at some old trailers or gameplay if you guys haven't heard of it, because this game is dope. Series after 2 years of development, and will lay off a number of employees as part of an ongoing initiative to cut costs, according to people familiar with the moves. And this makes everything a little bit harder, because for someone like me, I love this game. I love this game series. I would have literally died to go and play a new one. Better graphics on console, on PC, with mods, whatever. This would have been a really fun gaming experience. But this is, once again, 2 years wasted of people's time. And that means that that's 2 years of people not working on another either variation of Deus Ex. And as well, all the money I mentioned is that they just didn't have enough money to go and fully subsidize the game, the developers, the engine makers, the marketing, whatever it might be. And that's why gaming is rough right now, because games cost a lot of money to maintain that same PlayStation standard, where it's $100 million, $300 million. And while those games are phenomenal, fun, great, but they're also hard to turn a profit and hard to turn a revenue. On the same exact side, if you're a AA game, it's a lot harder for the marketing to reach, for the sales to happen. And you spend $50 million on a game. $50 million, I'm sure you guys watching this video, that's a lot. It's hard. It's like hard to make $50 million. Especially when you're already $50 million in the hole. Like, that's just like general marketing. You got to make products. You got to spend money to make money. I get it. But it's rough, dude. The gaming sphere right now, especially for like the mid-tier games, is rough. So Eidos, the Montreal, Canadian-based studio behind the game, will instead focus on an original franchise, which is fine. But I would have liked a Deus Ex game that already has, like fans and a niche fan base, maybe a little bit at this point. But the game has notoriety. The game has people who played prior generations, And they canceled Deus Ex Project, which has not yet been announced, was slated to enter production later this year, said the people, speaking anonymously because they are not authorized to talk to the press right now about this news. And this is why it's sad, because these huge games are getting canceled, and this is heartbreaking. Like, I would have liked to play this. The company did not immediately respond for a request for comment. In a statement on X, formerly known as Twitter, Eidos Montreal said that on Monday that it had let go of 97 people, which adds even more to this horrible gaming layoff sphere due to the global economic context, the challenges of our industry, and the comprehensive restructuring announced by Embracer. And Embracer was way bigger than expected, and I feel like we've been seeing the fallout of Embracer Group not getting the investment money they needed for quite some time. So it sold over 14 million units already for all these prior different years, was acquired by Embracer in 2022, and at this point, I'm not sure if the studio is done forever. I'm not sure if they can still somehow maybe use the work they've already done. Probably not, because they didn't work funded by it. And as well, Embracer has been laying off so many different other people too as well, which is really sad to see. Like, the gaming industry is hurting really bad, especially in the mid-tier size. I think big boys, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo are fine, or big like games like a League of Legends or, whatever. Sure, that's okay for now. But these mid-tier games for like niche games like Deus Ex, which 14 million units is nothing to scuff at for a game series, it's just sad to see that it's just not getting the love it needs. So I'm sad. Give me your thoughts and comments down below. If you guys want to subscribe, feel free to. You guys want to check out the Twitch, reply live right now. If you want to swing by Twitter, you guys can follow and subscribe if you guys are new. And definitely give me your thoughts and comments down below, because this just news just makes me sad.